All right, hello everyone. It's Roden again, and we are going to be starting up Eve Station Trading, episode 29. Hopefully, have a lot of revealing stuff to talk about, especially based on what we talked about last week as far as our callouts for the moon materials. We'll see if the resetting of the prices have maintained themselves. Something tells me they did, though. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started by going over our predictions from last week. Actually, some of these items I actually was able to act on myself, and we're pretty successful with it. So the first one we're gonna go over would be the geckos. I actually bought and sold these already myself. So for these, I think I captured these at 77. Let me see. So I bought it at 77 and sold at 84. It's like I did it for 10. So that's 9% before taxes. So about 6% net. That's not bad, considering it would have been, like 770 million total before taxes. It's not bad. So we call that as a buy last week. Actually, it would have been more a buy because of the trade channel, not necessarily actually the way the chart appears as far as the moving averages are concerned. So hopefully someone was able to take advantage of that. That trading channel that it was in is quite wide. I mean, so I captured it right around here, the very bottom, on those oddball last day. Say I got it at 77 right here, and I was able to sell it at 84. Yeah, I really caught the movement of the trade channel there. Luckily, actually, I wasn't expecting to get the geckos at 77, to be honest. That's good. That works out. Alright, so the next thing we're going to be looking at. So predicted the Macaros at a buy. I don't think it really... At least it didn't reach the levels that I was hoping it would drop into. I actually didn't get any Macarios at all this week. So we were calling it as a buy from last week. So it would have been around here. Yeah, that's fine. That still would have been a buy. I mean, it's still basically running on almost the same trade channel, at least the top end. So you're looking at what, like 470 to 520, that range. I think, what was I shooting for? I was shooting for 460 from this last week. I probably could have captured some if I. That's too low. That's too low. So I didn't get any. I aimed too aggressively. But if you were able to actually capture this from last week, it'd still be in good shape to sell it. I mean, let's say that's like what, maybe 470. 470 to what, 520. Yeah, right around there. Yeah, 470 to 5. It's 10% difference. It's pretty good. 10% spread on the Macaro is actually really, really good. That's it's kind of scary that it's that generous. That's really strange. That's really strange to find it that generous. So yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'd probably actually still play this if you feel confident that the trading channel will maintain itself. I think it will. I think it will. It's pretty balanced on buy and sell. It seems like just looking at the volume and looking at the chart appearance should be fine. But I aimed too aggressively, like I said, so I didn't get any. All right, the next one we predicted for buys is the rattlesnake. Again, I didn't. Same story like the Mackerel. I was a bit too aggressive with it. I was shooting for 425, but it is actually in a pretty reasonable trade channel. The lows are getting higher and the high is getting lower, so it's getting more narrow. It really doesn't know what to do now. But let's take a look. Shooting for 425, yeah, it's a bit low. I mean, not really, not now. Like it would, it's just like like a hair off. Honestly, I'm like honestly like maybe 5 to 10 orders off from being the competitive order, which is fine. It's fine. I aimed a little bit too aggressive. Where do I put my money next? That's the only question I have. Um, so now that we talked about actually, let me just finish talking about the rattlesnake, and actually, I'll cover that real briefly. Then we'll talk about it a little bit more. I think the rattlesnake buy call is decent if you weren't as aggressive as I was. So let's say you got it at maybe 420. More like 430. 430 to 470. 9% before taxes. That's not bad. That's pretty standard. About so that gives you what, like 6% net. It's imagine. All right. So what I mentioned last week was if I don't get my Macarial and rattlesnake orders fulfilled, I would put all that into Plex, which I did. Make sure you can see it. I don't have much Plex still, even though I did that. And we will cover this actually. Yeah, we'll cover this real quick, but then so that's where I put my money instead. So a lot of my money is actually working right now. So right now I'm sitting on 3,627 units of Plex, which isn't much, to be honest. That's like what, maybe 7 bill. It's not much, man. That's not even a drop in the bucket, man, when it comes to. I have glitches on my sound. Okay. Let me get in a little closer to the mic. Maybe that'll help. Every 10 seconds, there's a glitch. Oh, wow. Hopefully it goes away. Just me holding the push to talk not correctly. All right, so hopefully I'm coming through okay. So I did do what I mentioned that I would do if the Macarial and rattlesnake buy orders weren't fulfilled. So now I'm sitting on Plex. We'll go over a little bit. I kind of want to devote a segment to that because the way I actually captured the Plex was quite strange as far as Plex behavior versus now versus Plex when it was like the large item, right? The 1 billion plus item. So we'll go over that in a little bit. All right, so we called out some cells. These are all moon materials. All right, we called phenolic composites a cell. It's still a cell. I don't think it's stopping. Why this one? Why this one? Hopefully someone is like finding like this episode and last episode, and someone in Nos like is probably laughing their ass off that we're discovering these things, and I can't explain to you why they're such a big hit. Sebastian, I have a huge stack of several faction battleships when they were cheap. I think they're precious and will continue to rise. When you say faction, do you mean Navy or pirate? Kind of Plex, forever growing. It depends. I mean, I think the cautionary tale when it comes to faction stuff is how CCP eventually dealt with small ancillary armor wrappers. So when CCP feels compelled to tweak levers, they're definitely not delicate. They tweak hard into the right or hard into the left. But there's no Goldilocks zone. I mean, I don't know if it's literally just because of how they manipulated the drop rate that caused the drop in the eventual like really hard drop in price in small ancillary wrappers a few months ago, or it was a knock-on effect from people who were actually holding on to piles and piles and piles of either the modules or the blueprints. But whatever the case was, the underlying the net effect was basically something that was being sold at one point in the neighborhood of 5 to 7 million ISK, now being sold for 200K. So yeah, definitely not delicate when it comes to manipulating levers. So be mindful, especially when you're holding on, but when you're just randomly holding on to faction stuff, just be very careful, man, because when levers start moving, don't get caught on the wrong end of it. Yeah, so phenolic composites, still a cell. Why? I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't know enough about the moon material stuff. All I can really tell you is the picture that's being laid out in JITA. I don't know what the actual universal picture of these items are. I really don't. I wish I did, but I don't. All right, next item will be fermionic condensates. Interesting. It flattened out really hard. So that's one of the things I actually talked about from last week. Oh, Sebastian, imagine this. In that slow market called Odexy, I bought 20 billion of Plex, and even there, the fluctuation was still profitable over a week. Yeah, the last time I actually played Plex, when it was still the large item, the last item I played was the last hub that I played it in consistently, where I consistently saw profit was Dodixie. It's like it's a little gem out there when it comes to player services. Dodixie, oddly, is actually a good place to do it. I don't know why. It just is. It just is. Sebastian, so I guess you were sitting on a lot of plasmionic condensates, or sorry, for now. Oh, wait, plasmonic. Oh, okay. Is that an item you're holding on to? Or do you mean the item we just looked at, phenolic composites? Alright, so concerning the fermionic condensates, just looking at the chart, so it looks like it was a. So this is the story basically. So The median would be, oh, it's kind of on the top end, on the top end of the chart, so it indicates sell. Spider says, I make kind of a bill in Dodixie each day, and it's effortless compared to Jada. Yep. So this is the fermionic condensates that we're looking at right now. It's a really good case study in what I think was genuine price resetting. So throughout all this time, so about the last 45 days or so, there was genuine demand, and then suddenly, boosh, they literally like bought up the stock. But people are still following it, and they followed it so hard that the buy orders were actually followed it all the way up to its new plateau. It's good. All right, I'll see you in a bit, Sebastian. So if folks were holding on to this and they sold it last week, they would have been in good shape because they would have been selling it. They would have sold it at the historic high of this item. That's awesome. Hopefully someone did. Or I don't know. Or are some people compelled to even hold on to it that much more tightly? I don't know. I don't know what the actual stock of this is. I know it sounds so bad. I mean, I can only speak again. Sorry guys, I can only speak of how the chart looks like right now. I don't know the fundamentals of this item. All right, next one we're going to look at would be nanotransistors. All right, same story, but it looks like it didn't quite reach like a classic resetting of the previous chart. This is a lot more volatile looking. The buy orders didn't really follow it, so it's probably going to correct. If you still have this and you don't know what to do with your nanotransistors, now might be the time to actually sell it. Let's see what's selling it. Oh, actually, you probably just missed it. It was as high as 8 at one point, right when we called it. Right around here. It was as high as 8, but now it's back down to 5. Yeah, man, it totally lost all its ground. That's a shame. But it was good when we called it, though. So, hopefully someone took advantage of it. Hopefully. All right, and the last item from the things we went over last week would be the photonic metamaterials. All right, looks like a proper reset. The buy orders caught up. Whoever was doing this, man, brilliant. It's very brave. It's big balls, man. Some big balls to do this. So last week would have been right around here, and we did mention it again. You know, it kind of just reset itself on a new trade channel. Still a buy, definitely, if you have this in stock and you're just holding on to it like in an obscure station in Osaka somewhere. Yeah. Go grab it if you don't know what to do with it or have no intentions of actually building with this. Go grab it and sell it. Or hold on to it longer if you feel like it's going to go even higher. I can't imagine it going higher though. I really can't. Too much volume has already kind of shifted in preparation for, of course, the refineries, that I'm pretty sure we have enough workable volume to not actually to not have a genuine scarcity. Like, people are just gonna let it loose from their stocks slowly, but it's not genuine scarcity. It's not like people have it. It's not scarce. People have it. They just don't want to sell it. All right, so good call. I think these were all definitely great calls from last week. Hopefully, someone did take advantage of it. I definitely wasn't in a position to. This is not something I normally hold on to. All right, so all in all, definitely happy with our calls from last week, with the exception of the Carriels and rattlesnakes. At least for my own goals that I was shooting for, as far as being able to capture them. But it was totally flippable. Hopefully, someone actually got a piece of that action. All right, so we're gonna talk about the Plex real quick. I'm gonna roll into that. So we talked about, if I don't get the Macarials and the rattlesnakes, I'm gonna buy Plex, which I did. So let's take a look at that picture right now. So for the last almost 21 days now, it's sitting in this very, very tight trade channel. It's a bit opposite of all the charts that we've been looking at so far today. So as you can see, the orange dots, so that's the mean price, the actual daily average, not the median, but the actual mean, is on the bottom end of the Donchian channel, which is that kind of like grayed out area. And that's the breadth of the price of the traded items for that time period. And it's along the low end. So people are dumping this to buy orders. Okay, people are more compelled to dump this into buy orders versus capturing them from sell orders. Now, what was my experience with purchasing Plex or trading Plex this week? So I placed roughly, see how much I have. That's like $7 bill worth or something like that. Around $7 bill worth of Plex. I did my ordering in 2 separate batches. They were all done in the middle of the week, or not. I should say not in the middle of the week, but not a weekend, right? Not a weekend. So off prime time day. I didn't have to adjust them once, and all my buy orders were literally matched within an hour, easily within an hour. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So I'm not aware of any like Plex sales or skill injector sales or anything like that. Nothing for the last, nothing that's been going on straight like 21 days, you know? So people are on this, they feel compelled to use their real money, buy the Plex, sell for ISK. And they're finding 3 million ISK per unit of Plex to be a fair trading point for that real money to ISK exchange. So much so that the actual margin between buy and sell for Plex is non-existent. It's literally non-existent. 3 mil. 3 mil to 3 mil. Crazy. Not tradable. Not flippable, not tradable. I mean, it's why is this something we should be concerned with? No. People want to use their real money and earn ISK. Why? The reason doesn't matter. Honestly, the reason doesn't matter. The reason, and I say that because regardless of what the reason is, most people are finding 3 million ISK per Plex to be a good place to actually buy the Plex and sell it for ISK. That's all I got now. Is this related to the refineries and stuff like that? Probably. But to have it's beyond that though. It's so much more fundamental than that because it's so consistent. Yeah, it's something more fundamental than that. It's just generally an attractive price point. I think it's really all it is. So what should you be doing? I put my money where my mouth is, and actually I bought Plex because there's this demand of I have money, please give me Plex. I will be more than happy to meet that demand. How long can this last? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. It's gonna continue until people find a reason to want to buy Plex to use. And it's kind of indicative, I don't know, it feels like it's indicative of genuinely low population. People aren't buying Plex for subs. People aren't using ISK to buy Plex for subs. Or am I wrong in saying that? But I think that's a reasonable hypothesis. So that's the scary part, to be honest. Now, is this going to change come wintertime? So what's the play? Now that, you know, I bought Plex, hopefully some of you guys bought Plex in volume or relative to whatever the size of your wallet is. So what's the play now? Hold on to it through wintertime. You have to be okay to hold on to this through winter. If you're not okay to hold on to Plex through winter, don't get in this market. Do not get in this market. It's going to be too volatile. I'm anticipating this to crack to 3.1, 3.2. Easily. Is there going to be a reason for it to go up beyond that consistently and not as an outlier? Yeah. But I don't think that's going to happen until the refinery meta is a bit more established. But yeah, so I bought Plex at 3, and I'm hoping to sell it at 3.1, 3.2. Let's actually do some quick math on that. $23.2. Do actual numbers. It's messing it up. Yeah, I needed a 3.2. 3.2 will get me 2% on it. I'm okay with that. For the volume, I'm okay. I'm totally okay with that. I mean, I'm sitting on things that can equal subs, so yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, can it crack 3.3? Yeah, possibly. Who knows? But I think this current floor is a real floor. It is a real supply and demand floor. But it's so prolonged though, which is really crazy. I don't ever recall the old Plex having this extended of a low end trade channel. Not that I can remember at least. All right, so that's my bit on the Plex issue there, or the story as as I encountered it this week. One other thing would be so I just recently I consolidated all my characters into one account. So I'm almost a dirty casual now. I'm so close to being like a legit dirty casual. It's great. Uh, so I'm down to one account. I still have my main Rodin, Robro, who I'm using right now, my trader, and a faction warfare character. I actually left Wrecking Machine, my alliance, my corp in alliance for the last 8 months or so. Just time zone stuff. I couldn't. There's no way I could hang with the Euro time zone folks, being a U.S. time zone guy myself. So Left in good terms. Hopefully they do well. They've been doing really, really well and doing other activities, lots of activities for a corp and alliance that kind of has its hands in a lot of things. So I'm really, really happy for them. But now I find myself really looking to. So basically, I'm looking for a corp or alliance out there. So I'm really looking forward to actually being able to kind of advertise myself as like a market person. I really want to actually experience like the market aspect of the game, but not in high sec. So that's what I'm really looking for. So if anyone out there is actually interested in my skill set, I would love to hear from you. And I just want to kind of put myself out there. I really want to get in to continue doing this type of gameplay, but not in high sec. So hopefully that's achievable. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. What else is going on? See, not a whole lot from that. Nothing too much from our investment group. No changes. No changes. Still waiting on, I think, more fleshed out information as far as the refineries and stuff like that. And that's just, it's gonna be madness. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Oh, one thing I've been working on right now actually is getting back into production a little bit, and Tech 3 specifically. So I have to rebuild my sheets because they look really awkward right now. So I actually want to present you guys sometime in the future probably some production segments to add to the trading the trading theme that we normally have here. So look out for that one. And before we head up our buys and sells for this week, I just want to pimp out some content that I've made the past week. So that right there is the second episode of my market training videos. This one talks specifically about the things I look into before interacting with the charts. So it's effectively fundamental analysis, but like an Eve, right? Eve fundamental analysis. It was kind of challenging to make that actually, because I definitely wanted to just stick to those talking points. I know I can find myself like going on tangents very, very quickly on things like that. So yeah, I think I covered enough in there to be usable. So there's that. I definitely want to continue with those types of content in the near future. I'm hoping for like maybe at the latest one training video every 2 weeks. That's what I'm shooting for, at least. And for those of you guys who play Albion Online, that's the latest episode of my auction house snapshot. I really want to incorporate the same stuff that I do there to Eve. And I'm gonna do that, I think, via the production spreadsheets, like sharing that with you guys. I think that'll be the best way to do it. I think it really rounds out the picture of why things cost the way they are, especially for Tech 2 and Tech 3, and why they probably are not good things to trade in the midterm. At least from my experience. If someone else out there has found success with it, good on you. It's just not me. Alright, so do check that out if you have the time. And finally, we're gonna go over our buys and sells for the week. So I was looking at this, and I know that I've covered fashion warfare items specifically before, but Amar fashion warfare stuff looked really good this week. It looked really good this week. Like things were aligning somehow. And it's kind of weird because they've been in tier 1 for a while now. Like at least 8 months, if not almost a year. But their stuff hasn't really increased in value. It's as if we're really finally getting to the point now where the folks who were in faction warfare, who may have been sitting on millions upon millions of LP, have actually diminished their stock of LP, and now they're generally like LP poor now, and it's reflecting in the market, which is good. It means that the actual ISK value of these items will actually increase. So we're gonna go over. This is a straight up Amarr faction item list, and but it looks good though. That's the thing. It's hard to ignore it. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna go over would be the Omen Navy issue. Pretty classic ship. Definitely one of the more powerful Navy faction cruisers for sure. It's super flat, but it's a good trading channel. It's on the top end, so there's a genuine demand for this item. So you're not really missing out. Don't let the charts fool you, because the Danchin channel is huge. It's like almost 10 million. It's almost a 10 million breadth. So let's look at the actual. So just know that it's in a really productive trading channel right now. That, and this morning, or let's say about 10 hours previous to right now, there was literally just half a page of Omen Navy issues on sale. There's a genuine shortage on the sell order side. That's good. That's really good. That's really good if you can acquire it. If you can acquire it to sell. Let's take a look. 75 to 83. That's really fat margin. 10%. 10% on a faction Navy cruiser. That is ridiculously generous. Ridiculous. So ridiculous. I actually placed my own buy orders. I'm a little bit in the bottom. It's 75, so let me adjust this right now. Oh, hey Cap. Yeah, I sent out a tweet yesterday. Because the 10 Plus Gaming guys are actually helping promote Valkyrie this week. So got to see Rain play. I totally want to get it. I'm glad it's out of VR. I'm totally glad it's out of VR. There's no way. The VR gear is just too expensive. This looks really fun. I adjust my orders real quick. You guys see that I'm not I actually trade what I speak about. It's just too good, man. It's too good. It's too good. Even a full set, man. Just a genuine. This really clues me in that it's not so much there's genuine shortage on Amarr faction warfare items. Now, I'm saying that under the idea that you can still get Amarr type LP on traditional mission running, right? Cat idea play that card that Twitter feed gets if you're not phone all day. Dude, that's a true story. I wish there was a way to actually manage that. I totally get you though. I wish there was a way to manage that. Well, it's if you're a traditional mission runner in high sec for a bar, it literally takes you at the fastest half as long or twice as long to recover LP for Amarr versus a Tech 1 frigate in Amarr faction warfare space. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like if I don't get into any corps or alliances that do market stuff specifically, like in nullsec, I'll probably put Rodin on the other side of the war zone, just to be able to take advantage of it, and I should be able to give you guys better pictures of faction warfare from a trading perspective, not combat perspective, but a trading perspective. All right, so that's one item that I'm definitely have placed buy orders in. Also, another one good thing to look into is the battleship. So Apocalypse Navy issue. Apocalypse over Armageddon Navy for sure. Hardly anyone uses the Armageddon. So APOC Navy issue. The charts are really calling it a buy for sure. If you're getting it right now, you're really getting on the floor. And if it even pops back up to previous levels, let's call it conservatively 420. 420. I think you'll be in good shape. So let's look at how the breadth right now. 358 to 390. 390. Now mind you, right now, evening time US time zone, this is the low activity point of the game, so the numbers are a bit depressed. 11% before taxes on a Navy battleship. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The low volume, may turn off some people, but that's pretty normal volume for that type of item, to be honest. That's actually kind of on the high end, mid to high end, to be honest. Some, for example, the Armageddon, single digits, absolute single digits. Look at that, top end 7, bro. So just by sheer volume, Apocalypse Navy issue for sure. All right, so those are our buys. For the sells, gear, one of the more higher volumes. I'm calling out sells of the week, basically the more traditional higher volume modules for faction. All right, so we're gonna start with the Imperial Navy 1600 steel plate. Alright, so it's generally on an upward trend. Decent volume, shy of 500 daily. So between 250 to 500, that's pretty good, considering the price. So someone's trying to be sneaky here and clog up the orders. Don't mind that guy. Let's count the other one, the one before him though. Someone's he's only blocking it with 2, so someone's gonna see that and it'll go away within the day for sure. $39 to $43. That's a 10% margin. 10% margin for something that moves 250 to 500 units per day. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I would totally buy that. Not because of the relationship with the moving averages, but because of the breadth of the Donchian channel. All right, next item would be the Imperial Navy Acolyte. That's the light drone, faction light drone. You can see my orders. Oh man, someone jumped the gun at 2 bastards. Gotcha, son. 2 to 2.9. It's huge. A bit wonky, but all over the place. All right, so it moves in large batches. Think of it that way. It moves in large batches. Bam, 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 bam. So right now, again, it's when you're looking at Navy faction items, the relationship with the moving averages almost doesn't matter. I think a better indicator or chart appearance to focus on actually is the dodging channel. Can't believe I'm actually saying that the dodging channel is useful. I tend to actually turn off the dodging channel most of the time. But yeah, like the margin alone is huge. So let's do that. 2,000 to 2,900. It's crazy. Or 2 million rather, sorry. It's 34% difference, man. What? 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 What is this? I mean, volume-wise, you're looking at... So normally it sits at 500. I think 500 is fair to say. At least the last 7-10 days. Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah, I was like, well, you got me confused by going Donchin. That's why I turned that sucker off, man. Is it for most other items besides Navy Faction, it tends to clutter up the chart. So the Donchin channel, the grayed out area, it's just a visual representation of the lowest buy or the lowest and highest trades for that time period. I'll turn it off, instead. So like that's why I turn it off, man. Because sometimes it makes you believe that, like for example, like looking at the same chart right now. So the Donchin channel for today has a highest high of like almost 3.7 and lowest low of 1.7. Dude, that's huge. It makes the outliers unnecessarily visible. I don't care about the outliers. I'm more focused on the real trades that are happening, not these RMT trades that are happening right here. More often than not, they're RMT trades. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that. All right, so 34% margin on Imperial Navy Acolytes. What? It'll be interesting to see how much that actually reduces come next week, now that we're talking about it. But since we're presenting this not on our regular day, maybe you guys can take advantage of it. Maybe Cap can take advantage of it. And finally, the Imperial Navy Curator. I've actually never used the Imperial Navy Curator, so I don't know if they're any good. But the margin's really good, though. It's consistently getting up there. Like as a genuinely demanded item, which is good. And it's genuinely on a buy right now based on the relationship of the moving averages. Dudes, half of a front page. Half of a front page. Somebody needs to correct this. I don't have any more free cash. Somebody correct this, please. SEC Lounge, I'm looking at you. Correct this. Cavs, I watch for the day when this stuff means I just lost or made 10 bill. What? That's nuts, man. 10 bill. Oof. But even at the really kind of wonky margin it has right now, 3.9 to 4.5. That's huge. It's 14% margin on something that costs this per unit. That's huge. Huge. All right. I genuinely can't amp down, and I'm out of cash. I'm all plex right now. Yeah, so that's all we got, really. That's all I want to call out. I think they're very interesting call outs. For the longest, like I said, like before we got into this segment, the Omar faction So, Cap says the principles which seem self-evident, but most players don't do it at my level. No, man, like, dude, your scope, depending, it's hard to bridge that gap between kind of like the idea, right? So like the ideas are like trading and market and all this. The ideas are simple. They're actually really simple. They make sense, right? But when you're trying to execute and make real those ideas, you're limited by your wallet size. And if you don't have, and you can only work with how much money you have that you can offer to the market, right? That's it. And that's why I'm actually interested in finding groups where my expertise would actually be useful, like for NOSA groups or wherever, right? So we'll see. If not, I can always continue working for myself, I guess. Yeah, so that's it. That's really all I got, guys. Hopefully I was able to give you guys some ideas with regards to what to play, and hopefully my explanation with Plex makes sense. At least makes sense to me. Is it a gamble? Yeah, it's a pretty big gamble, to be honest, but it's a reasonable gamble, I think. If not, see, the thing with Plex, even if you lose out on Plex, it's still Plex. It still equals sub. You'll always have that underlying value of it still equals sub. So, guys, sure, I mine, then pay simple, but most players are fascinated by fireworks. Yeah, they are. All right, I think that's really all I got, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, kind of on an off day for us. We'll definitely, as far as I know, we can be back next week on our regular day of Tuesday, U.S. time zone, 0100 UTC. And really curious as to how, if any at all, change happens to these faction items now that we've called them out. I've been running into kind of this weird observations that when we call out something super obvious, it gets corrected quite quickly, when up until that point no one was correcting it. So that's actually really cool. That makes me feel good that someone out there is actually listening and actually paying attention and acting on what we may be talking about. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool to me, or at least that's the dream, right? That's the dream. Someone listens to these ideas, because they're so obviously like, this needs correction. Like, dudes, this picture's wrong, man. This picture's wrong. Someone needs to correct this. But yeah, so this video will be up on YouTube here by the evening, guys. And hey, thanks for sticking around. We'll see you guys next week, and hopefully we'll be able to see some more of you guys make money. It'd be nice to see some improvement on Plex as well. Oh yeah, I'm playing to the rich guys again. I know, right? Because I can't act on this, man. I wish someone else would. I can't act on it. I'm out of cash, man. I'm on Plex. Alright, hey, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next week.